Okay. It's my turn. So we go to the session two. The session two is about the impact of COVID-19 on NTDs interventions. I would like to share my research experience about neurocysticercosis, and because neurocysticercosis can cause seizure. So I will talk about the neurocysticercosis causing seizure control program in Eswatini under COVID-19 challenges and perspective. But before I commence my presentation, I would like to introduce myself very briefly. I got my PhD degree from the Graduate Institute of Microbiology, National Taiwan University, College of Medicine in 2004. Uh, and then in 2009, I led my research team to several African countries and the Pacific Islands countries to execute the NTDs control program. And now, yeah, and one of the topics about the neurocity psychosis in Eswatini. So this time I would like to share this one with everyone. Okay, first, let me introduce the background briefly. Currently, a total of 20 man-neglected tropical diseases have been greatly appreciated by WHO, of which 12 are caused by parasitic infections. NTDs threatens the health and the life of about 1.5 billion people in the world. High prevalence of high prevalence of epilepsy is partly caused by various one of the helminth when larval when larval infections have neglected parasitic infections in the United States as priorities for public health action. City psychosis is also one of them that needs to be intensively controlled in USA. So what kind of parasitic infection may cause NCC? Yes, it is Penicillium. Human may acquire such an infection through consumption of improperly cooked pork containing city circus, and then the city circus can grow up to a worm measured in 6 meters long, then resident in the small intestine for several years. The eggs released from the ruptured gravid or grafts can contaminate the environment, water, and food while the patient feces. When pigs or humans ingest the eggs accidentally, the Ankylosaurus may invade internal organs, including the brain, thus leading to neurocysticercosis. So seizure is one of the terrible consequences caused by NCC. So you can see the city circus measure 5 to 15 millimeter long can be found lodged on or inside the brain. When this viable larvae taken from the brain, you may find a very beautifully thin and transparent clothes, embedded one scholess containing 4 suckers armed hooklets. You see, the larva is so amazing and elegant. In neurocysticercosis, focal and generalized seizures are the most common clinical features. In developing countries, about 30 to 50% of all adult onset epilepsy is due to NCC. NCC may be preceded by a long asymptomatic period with no evident inflammation around the insisted and viable larvae. However, after treatment by antiparasitic drugs, the degenerative cyst may release complex antigens, thus leading to acute inflammation and subsequent clinical symptoms. In fact, till now, how to treat NCC remains debate, considering the severe cytokine storm in the brain. So since NCC may cause epilepsy, so how about epilepsy situation in Eswatini? So previous data analysis show that 11.2 per 1,000 people in Eswatini live with epilepsy. The annual mortality rate per 100,000 people from epilepsy in Eswatini has increased by 52.2% since 1990, and average of 2.3% a year. This aforementioned data attract my curiosity concerning what's the role of NCC involved in causing seizure to Eswatini people. In 2017, Dr. Du, the director of medical mission in Eswatini, tasked the nurse to bring surgically dissected brain tissues, requesting to examine any of the CT circuits existed in these tissues from one patient suspected of NCC. So parts of these tissues were used for pathological examination and found the tissue features fit to the T-sodium CT circuits criteria. Partial materials were used to detect any T-sodium CT circuits DNA using specific COX-1 and COX-B primers for PCR. The amplicons were analyzed by sequencing. Thereafter, the sequencing data was aligned to BLAST, indicating 96% to 100% identity to the sodium CT circuits. So it's bingo. This patient suffered from the NCC with no doubt. So I asked myself, how about the NCC situation in Eswatini? Check from WHO website. I got an information indicating Eswatini is a suspected endemic area only, reflecting no evident data to indicate the real NCC situation in Eswatini. So it is worthy of further exploration. So where is Eswatini? Its north, west, and the south part is surrounded by South Africa, while its east part is close to Mozambique. Its total population is 1.2 million around. It has long been called Africa's Switzerland. So Eswatini is a very beautiful country. How about the NCC situation in Eswatini? In 2019, we performed a pilot study to investigate any NCC suspected residents in Eswatini from two provinces, four communities nearby the capital, as suggested by the deworming program, were investigated. We utilized door-to-door method to undertake individual questionnaire interview and specimen including blood and feces collection outdoors. Overall, one of 82 participants was detected seropositive, along with one suspected CT circus, followed by head CT scan, thus resulted in the CT circus seroprevalence to 1.2%. Meanwhile, after collection and interviewing, an educational leaflet was given to instruct participants how to prevent T-sodium infection. For example, suggest them not to eat improperly cooked food and sanitizing hands before eating. Herein, I would like to express my sincere condolences to my long-term partner and old friend, Precious, Chief Deworming Program, who tragically passed away in 2020 from COVID-19 infection. Precious is a kind and generous partner who is always helpful. Okay, although COVID-19 pandemic is very terrible, COVID-19 impacted NTD health services like disruption of community-based interventions, delays in diagnosis, treatment, and care services, and discontinuation of monitoring and evaluation activities, including population-based surveys and so on. Based on the global severity of COVID-19 from 2020 to 2021, honestly, I am very anxious and I'm determined that whether I should lead my team to continue executing NTDs project in Eswatini. However, after carefully monitor the COVID-19 trend in Singapore, South Africa, and Eswatini, and also I noticed that a drastic decline from 1,020 cases in August to 34 cases in September last year in Eswatini. Additionally, to my partner, Google's suggestions, uh, she said, late October is a good timing to go. So I made up my mind to go in late October. So maybe you know I am not a fool, although we are brave enough but not reckless. So 2 doses of vaccination are a must for every member before we go. Everyone from 2 working groups must wear disposable protective suits, surgical masks, and gloves. The working and the rest area will be isolated separately, and all the working procedure will follow the guidelines by Taiwan CDC under COVID-19. And the routine self-test of COVID-19 for 2 group members is a must, also to keep safe and healthy. Cars are also sanitized regularly to assure my members' safety and health. Participants are measure the body temperature and hand sanitizer before signing the consent, questionnaire interview, and specimen collection. Before commence of the community screening, a meeting for community leaders and chiefs concerning NCC project was held, and adequate explanations to their questions that reached a consensus. Thereafter, we commenced the NCC screening. And also we employ the GPS device to locate the visiting place and keep the records. We are very surprised but happy to find several private pig farms. This crew is very important to further NCC project. Staff in collection group must be monitored every 3 days to exclude the possible COVID-19 infection that ensures the next 2 days mission safe and healthy. So in short, we are very strict and careful in executing NCC screening project in community that ensures my members' safety and health. So the overall cysticercosis seroprevalence in 2021 was 0.4%. So only one case infected by Hymenopteris nana instead of Thesonian was found by fecal examination. So no intestinal tinium sodium peniasis was found last year. So that's really a pity. So to sum up, combined data from 2019 and 2021, the overall cysticercosis seroprevalence was merely 0.61%. So compared to the other studies globally, it seems likely that this figure is very low. But however, To southern provinces like Lumbombo and Sizhuini, where pigs raising farms are common, have not yet been investigated. The real NCC infection status remains elucidated. Locating, we are really detectives. We continue monitoring the seropositive person's living environment and intend to inspect any cysticercosis in pork or visceral organs in private slaughterhouse. Unfortunately, workers in private slaughterhouse decline our visit unfriendly and offensively. Thus, we didn't have any data about the cysticercosis in pork or visceral organs. More terrible, certainly, emergent Omicron outbreak makes us in a mess. We have no choice but escape, returning to Taiwan. However, to my planning, this November to December, we will come back again. We all know the WHO's Sustainable Development Goals. Among the 17 main SDGs, we are helping end the epidemics of NTDs in Eswatini that our project fits to the SDG 3.3. We collaborate with Eswatini partners to work together as well as share technology to combat NTDs in Eswatini. That our project also fits to SDG 17.6 and 17.8. So Taiwan can help. TMU is helping. I would like to express my sincere appreciation, my PhD students, Gina, Ariel, May, and Jody, and Eswatini collaborators, including Fortunate, Cindy, Gugu, and Shabangu, as well as local partners to help in this project so greatly. More importantly, Eswatini hasty roasted maize supporting my daily survival should be acknowledged and appreciated here as well. Finally, this is a very shiny Taipei 1131, very close to TMU campus. If you have visited there, you are definitely acute parasite now. But if you haven't done it, please do not hesitate to come right now. Thank you so much for your listening and patience. So,